Yo, what is up guys? Today we're gonna be cooking up a sampled R&B loop in the style of Chicks Tape 5 without using any samples. Yes, I know. So the first thing we're gonna do is cook up the sample. So we're gonna need some keys, a vocal, and then some filtered drums. I'll show you how to get that vintage sound, but let's start with the keys and we're gonna keep it simple. And if you guys are interested, I'll have it download for free in the description for you guys to cook up to. Let's see what we can make. For the drums, I used a kick and a rim, and then I just played this hi-hat pattern that wasn't too crazy. And so those three elements are all I needed. And then you're gonna put them together, and then you're gonna put some processing on them. Okay, we're moving on to the vocal, which is gonna be the most important part of this whole loop, hands down. Why is it the most important? If you think about when you're using a sample, that sample is gonna have songwriters on it who have spent hours, days, months, or even years writing those melodies so that they are incredible. And if you're making a sampled type loop, you're gonna need to spend some time finding sick melodies. No, and I lose my mind, and I lose my mind. Oh, no, and I lose my mind, yeah. Oh. This melody was tough. I don't even know why. I'm not the best singer, but I just could not hit my notes. Exhibit A. No, no, no. Yeah. Anyways, so a couple tips is going to be vary speed, and I slowed it down. This allowed me to hit those fancier, faster runs at an easier pace. Step number 2 that's really important is listening to 90s R&B. What are those vocalists doing and how are they singing? Because they pick very specific notes. They're hitting the 7, they're hitting the 4, and they're doing like fancy runs up and down. And so we want to emulate that with this sampled R&B vocal sound. No, oh, yeah. No. Once you got all those elements, it's time to turn it into a sampled sound. This is going to be where the sauce is. The vocal I've recorded at a slower time with vary speed. So when it's sped up, I sound like a chipmunk. So what did I do? I used M-auto pitch to format shift myself back down to a more deep voice. And I actually put it deeper than normal, which I thought sounded really cool. I then actually used M-auto pitch to format shift my keys to make them more chill and lo-fi sounding. So the drums have cymatics origin to make it feel more vintage, as well as a little bit of Valhalla plate just to give it some room. You're gonna put all those elements into a track stack and then use a couple plugins to make it even more vintage and sampled sounding. I used cymatics origin to decrease the sample rate of all these elements. The next step was I used phases, which is a phaser, and I just thought it added cool motion because we want it to feel kind of warbly. Next thing we did, I used a sidechain to basically act as a tremolo to just give it some motion. Then I moved on to Valhalla Vintage Verb, which added some room and some space. And now we're feeling good. I added in Tape Mellofi by Arturia, which gave it some more vibey and warbly and lo-fi sounding. Here are all the settings I used to create that sound. Now that we've got our sample, it's time to move on to the actual loop. So I'm gonna grab that vocal, pitch it up, and then filter it, and that'll be the starting point for this section. Next thing I did was add this cool R&B pad. After that, I added some distant guitar bends. This is just one of my favorite sounds, so I just thought I'd throw it in. Next, we're going to use it as a talk box. I just thought this thing sounded cool, and so this is what it sounds like. Put in some strings. I'm adding in my favorite glide synth. This thing is like mayonnaise or butter right now for me. I just feel like it adds vibe to every single track. So here it is again. All right, moving on to bass, it's gonna be a big sub bass. This is classic trap soul, and I love this sound. I actually decided against using the strings because it felt like there was too many elements going on, but it was a cool part. So a lot of my time was spent mixing and creating space for this loop. Because we have this vocal that's playing throughout the entire loop, the artist will need to still feel like they have room to rap on it or sing on it. I'm a sucker for over-producing, but I'm really working on this skill right now. Keep it as simple as possible. An element to lift the B section of this loop was to play in a keys part. I thought it'd be cool to play bass guitar in a verse section, and so that sounds like this. Yeah, did spill water all over my setup. Anyways, I felt like the first pad sound that I picked wasn't the right vibe, so Omnisphere, trusty Omnisphere, found this other cool patch. And just like that, let's check out the full loop.